Hello guys and welcome to episode 2 of the My Team career mode here on F1 24. It's about to be round 2 the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and guys, we're just about to get our weekly schedule in, so just 3 free days between the opening Bahrain Grand Prix and the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, so that gives us the opportunity to do a little bit of driver promotion filming. Just that's about it. And then further on we have to go to do a little bit more of research, as the aerodynamic guys are currently busy. We are heading out for the chassis, and these guys are also busy, as we can see here with the in development sign as well. So we may as well just head on to the powertrain or the durability. At the end of the day, 668 points. Let's see if we even can get something for that. And yes, the pistons are available, 648 with a little bit of a discount. So straight away we head for those and get more performance to the car, hopefully. So then we simulate the week, and then we're about to head into the race weekend straight away. Just as usual, the summary here of the practice programs: 1,050 points together for our team, for both drivers. And here we see the development boost supplied from the great performances. So gearbox improved materials, DRS maximum slot gap, a front wing gurney flap to be reduced in costs. So goes the beam wing, the gearbox improved materials, the second episode, and DRS maximum slot gap. So all these parts being more cheap to develop as soon as we get to them. But it's not only about getting resource points, it's also about increasing the acclaim of our team in order to be able to attract better sponsors in the future. And here we're obviously also doing a good job. All right. Let's head into the R&D apartment once more, as we have front wing end plates being unlocked for this weekend already. We're about to have them on the car and straight away get going with new parts for development. So the DRS maximum slot gap is under construction, or is under development for the next races. Qualifying was on, and from the free practice we could already tell that there is a good chance for points, because the car didn't seem too slow on our on this high-speed track. Remember, we picked the Mercedes engine for maximum performance and maximum reliability when it comes to the engine parts. So let's see what is possible. 27 corners here at Saudi Arabia, and DRS wide open for our very first qualifying attempt, as we are heading down towards turn 1, heavy braking zone into a tight chicane, turning in, kissing the first curb, kissing the second curb, very beautifully. A little bit of an oversteer moment as we are heading into the second corner. It's obviously not the first lap, as we can see we're sitting 4th, so after the first run we're already had a little bit of hope that this is going to be a good qualifying. Could we eventually even get pole position here, as we dropping down to 5th? The gap to Perez was just 2/10 before we started the lap. In the meanwhile, Verstappen on the pole though, a 128.7. That meant we need like 4 to 5/10 of improvement as we're heading towards the back straight. The car goes beautifully over the curbs. 4.5/10 ahead, DRS wide open. Into the last sector we go. Can we do this? Piastri on pole with a 28.6, raising the bar even to 5.5/10 of gap that we would need to make up. DRS wide open once again. And guys, if you appreciate this program, please consider becoming a subscriber on the YouTube channel. Ring the bell as we go into the final turn. Tied on the wall. Early on the accelerator, maximum power, DRS wide open, is going to be tied towards the line, but actually we did it. It is P1 by a fraction, by 400th of a second only, as we are securing a very, very unexpected pole position here for the Jeddah Grand Prix. However, at the same time, we obviously need to see where is Richard for sure, and he is on the dead last position, 1.3 seconds down. So that also indicates a little bit on how good the car actually is, which is not very good. However, with that pole position, a huge boost on the acclaim bar as we see the grid.
Mitchell lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Sainz, Russell, Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton, Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Ocon, Magnussen, Bottas, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Sargent, Joe, Richard Verschoor, and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
So with Piastri being moved down, we went towards the strategy sheet and we saw a soft 7-lap, 11-lap medium strategy straight away. We dialed in for the perfect fuel load after all in order to really maximize car performance, because we knew it might be really coming down to this after all. So therefore, we have reduced the fuel. In the meanwhile, we obviously had to recalculate from the testing that we did and therefore optimize the strategy as much as possible. A quick check on changing the tires also showed us there was nothing really that we could gain from taking different compounds, putting it on different laps, maybe a lap longer on the soft. Let's see. We picked the strategy as it was there in the end. But obviously you always need to be flexible to react what's happening in the race then. As we went into the formation lap, we wanted to do a good start or test start, but actually failed this quite again. So we seem to have an issue with getting away from the line. However, I wanted to make sure to really be on the very edge, to not lose out like in Bahrain, where we lost 4 or 5 positions on the initial get-go. So very important to park the car. We parked it perfectly. Once again, guys, if you appreciate this, please give it a like. Any feedback, put it down in the comments area below. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and join us for more racing action here in the future. As the lights turn on, we're about to get going and it's lights out and away we went. Not too bad of a start this time. However, Max Verstappen got a better launch and we feared one of the Ferraris on the inside, hence we left the space, getting around turn 2 still in second place. And actually that was not that bad of a start after all. So we tried to stay close with Verstappen, but you see the performance of the Red Bull in the first sector. From 7/10th, 9/10th, a full second, and at the end of the Corky section already 1.2 seconds up the road, 1.1, 1.2. It was jumping up and down into turn 13. We had to defend from Sainz and Leclerc. Both Ferraris, including the Red Bull of Perez, right on our rear end, right on the rear wing. We tried to stay in front as much as possible. However, I feared those straights, despite no DRS open yet. Of course, it was a huge threat with these guys right in the slipstream. However, for the moment, we could keep them at bay, and I was like, okay, maybe there is an opportunity. We had a full battery to work with and we actually made it onto the back straight. However, then straight away, even without DRS, Sainz just flew past by, so did Leclerc, and there was not really much I could do against them. So I was like, oh my god, is this now just going downwards from here? Anyway, we tried to boost a little bit out of the final turn, as Perez was putting us under pressure here as well, and I was like, no, I can't have that. I can't be down in that position. Went for a late dive on Sainz, no, not on Sainz, on Leclerc, side by side with Leclerc, still on the sprint towards turn 4, having half a car length ahead, just squeezing our car through turn 4 and keeping the position. However, we have lost already a ground to Sainz, and we were desperately trying to keep within DRS range here. With 90% of the battery, of course, we had good chances to keep it. However, we first have another look at the start where we actually see the initial getaway hasn't been that bad. However, then we lost a little bit of traction, enough space on the inside to the Ferraris, easy for us to keep second place for the moment. However, as we have seen later in the lap, the fierce attacks of the both Ferraris and even Sergio Perez had a look on the outside a little bit. Was close, too close for comfort in my end, especially as he was sitting here in the draft already being alongside us, and I was like, no, I can't have it. I went for a late dive here on Leclerc, sporting amount of room given. We squeezed ourselves through turn 1 and kept the position for the moment. However, back to racing in lap 2, end of the lap, DRS available for both of us as we were in the wake of Sainz still, but we had no chance on Leclerc, goodness me. So I decided, because we were tight on fuel regardless, as long as I can keep in the DRS and keep Perez behind, let's just take a little bit of a breather, lift early into turn 1, take it easy on the brakes, have a fully charged battery, and maybe make sure that way we can stay with the guys. Lap 3 came to an end, both Ferraris side by side, this time Leclerc going for the move on Sainz. They were side by side, we were coming with DRS, but I closed it early, also went off the button. As you see, 41% of battery only left as we defended from Perez in the final sector. Leclerc and Sainz in the meanwhile have lost a lot of time battling here up to turn 1 and 2, so we just kept staying here. However, the fight continued as Sainz round the outside on Leclerc into turn 1, keeps it side by side on the inside of turn 2. We have a little bit of a look on the inside on the exit towards turn 4, but it was suspicious. The guys were battling. They were still side by side here, going through 4 into 5, 6, 7, still side by side, 8 through 9, still side by side. Fred Vasseur on the pit wall, probably having heart attacks. So did we, because that put us under pressure from Perez behind. Perez had the move on us. We defended with everything we had on the battery as Leclerc and Sainz at the front were still going at it at the end of this lap 5. So I had to take a decision. I could not see longer at this. Battery on the button, DRS wide open, on the inside of Sainz, going for a move down the inside, 3 wide into turn 1, almost lost it on the brakes, contact between us and Sainz, but eventually we cleared turn 2 being in second place, and both Ferraris again side by side into this section here. That actually allowed me to get a little bit of space as we have another look onto that opportunistic move on the inside. Contact was made ever so slightly. At the end of the day, all cars still intact, no damage on any car, but here in that perspective you really see how tight it was. There was a little bit of a moment from my end sliding into the side pod of Carlos Sainz, and then I have to say F1 24 makes the contact worse, as it really is. However, 2 laps later, end of lap 7, it was once again Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz on the move. I defended hard into that final turn, and that told me, guys, we need to be absolutely aggressive here. Into the pit road we dived, late on the brakes, going for an early undercut with the medium. So we were late on the brakes, also on the pit entry. This time no penalty though, unlike in Bahrain where we sadly sped into the pits. However, pit stop went perfect as we came to a hold. 2.5 seconds estimated, 2.5 seconds indeed. maximum push out on the pit road, and then let's see whether we could re-emerge on the track in clean air, and that was the case, and that was very, very important. Despite just 25% of battery, we had to go for a push. We had to push hard, and 3 laps later everyone has pitted, and as you can see, that gave us not only the edge over Leclerc and Sainz, also Norris, who went for an undercut with us, made the moves stick and actually had a 2-second gap to us while keeping the Ferraris busy. It was a smooth sailing then towards the end of the race with 2 laps to go. I was hoping, car, please don't break down, safety car, please don't come out, and with 2 laps to go I was like, okay, there shouldn't be too much to worry about, as in the meanwhile Perez was in P3, 2.6 seconds down, and then all over the sudden yellow flags in the middle of sector 2, and I was like, Jesus Christ, that is the sector where I am in, so what the hell has happened now? And it was Verstappen, Max Verstappen, the race leader, again with issues, just as in Bahrain. He is out of the race in a straight DNF, looks like a mechanical failure as he just parked the car, and that actually triggered no safety car because it was just 2 laps to go. And guys, unbelievably, we brought this home. I thought if we could get a P5 in the end, this would be amazing, but no, it is a P1. It is the first win of the season in race 2 already in a very, very non-performant car, as we've seen Richard for sure in the qualifying being way down the order. Celebrations went on, we were elected the driver of the day, and the team was delighted down in the garage about this outstanding race that we've just shown.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
Arguably, that was not entirely true, as we haven't led a single lap apart from the last one. However, after all, it's the points that matter. It is a P1, it's 25 points to the driver and the team championship straight away. And I think, guys, that is a remarkable performance of the team, and also a little bit of me as a driver. So that tot up the totals at the end of the weekend. You see, on the fastest lap we're still a little bit down on performance. However, the worrying part is down here, as we see Richard for sure in 20th place, at least not that last, but only 1 position away from that. However, perfect for us, as we got more team acclaim, climbing us up to P or to level number 7. Seems like Richard had a little bit of damage during the weekend, small deductions on his side, but we got a very, very nice cash out of this. Looking at the championship then, we're sitting 3rd with 1 win on the line, and the team is actually 5th, so we want to be 7th at the end of the year. Just need to try keeping that position. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Once again, if you love what we're doing, please give us a like, please subscribe us on the YouTube channel, follow us, and ring the bell for more sim racing content. Thank you for watching.